Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to it. Another episode of the Pitchside podcast. And as usual, the lineup is amazing. Tommy.
Yes, sir.
That's Dominator, the bully. But also...
the bully.
Yeah,
the bully.
They called him a bully here on the show.
That's Tapelo.
Tapelo said he man not a bully when he was captain.
Tapelo said I was a bully.
No.
Thank you, my coach. Can I shake
No,
your
I
hand?
said to him, bully is a bad word. Let's work with dominate. He used to
No.
dominate.
No. He was a leader,
Thank you.
and leaders do and push people even when they don't want to be pushed.
So finally you have someone to protect you.
No, it's not protecting.
It's not
It's
protecting, it's the
explaining
truth.
in proper,
I'm
In
Yeah.
proper English.
No.
proper way.
Okay.
No, he was a proper leader.
Yeah.
Leaders push you even when you don't want to be pushed.
Yeah.
And sometimes that could be misconstrued. English.
Yeah, misconstrued.
Or
Yeah.
misunderstood.
Score.
Yeah.
No. Ke a o tseba ka sekgowa. Re na le ho mamela molo ko SABC ke re,
I try, coach. I try. Ke bina go
Ke-
bitsa leveleng ya gago mara.
ke re, hey. Ha tsebe hore it's a
Ivan.
Makutlo o na le hey.
Bona, ke re-
Hey, the level is very high
No,
on
I
SABC.
ke tsene ko St. Peter's.
I see St. Stephen's.
And I was speaking to the coach.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I apologize. I withdraw. I
So-
withdraw.
No,
Can I
you're
go
bullying.
fit-
No. No, you're bullying.
So please explain to him that sometimes as a leader you get to that level. It's a
No,
thin line.
there's
There's
a
a
very
very thin line between what you calling me and what the coach is calling me.
No. I think it's you could easily if you check I think the most successful and most celebrated leaders.
Yes.
They've got that.
Okay. But if I'm on the receiving end and I feel like I'm being bullied,
Yeah, but the only thing is what is the definition? What is the definition of bullying?
Yeah.
no, Tapelo
Because
said,
if I'm on the pitch and I'm the captain and I'm saying to you run, and you don't want to run, and I'm saying
no,
hey, you
Tapelo said
better
that
run.
thing extended outside of the pitch.
No, because that's what happens on the
Fix
pitch.
that.
What
Tapelo
happens on
basically
the
said
pitch?
no more abuser.
No, so you know what Tapelo said, coach?
Yes.
I'll explain to what Naves is saying. So Tapelo said, on the pitch, I didn't want the titles.
For sure.
He said he was surprised to hear that Dennis could shout at Kavalaya and
Yes.
everybody else.
Yes.
And he was like, what am I doing here?
No, 100%.
And I was like, Tapelo, the reason why we're going to shout at you for being quiet
No,
is because we want you to take responsibility. We want you to say, coach,
No,
2-step right.
No, 100%.
Because if we don't say that,
No, 100%.
you're going to think, no, Kennedy should know.
Yeah.
And how many times in a packed stadium like Loftus the other day,
No, 100%.
how will you gonna instruct somebody?
No,
and
no,
hear
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And,
so
and
you
that's
have to,
leadership.
Yeah. So we had to teach the new ones to break that walls and shells quickly, to know that we gonna be equal in here, and we have to take responsibility along the way.
And you pass the baton.
Coach,
You know something happened on the weekend. You will not believe.
Yeah.
Tembazwane on the weekend. The score is 2-0. And he comes over to me and he says to me, Coach, let's lock this thing. He says, Coach, let's lock. The last season Champions League semi-final against the very same winner.
Yeah.
They come alive around this time. The
Yeah.
shade is now on almost covering the entire pitch.
Yeah.
There's no sun. Put another centre back. But I could see that he knows by saying let's lock this thing. Sivale.
Yeah.
Ufake defender.
Yeah.
Uyazi ukuthi uthi kahle kahle ngikhiphe.
Yeah.
But that's leadership. For this, what's best for the team,
Yeah.
I put first.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I put myself second.
Yeah.
And this is what Hlompho used to do.
Hey, he's found a defender indeed.
No.
No, and the defense in the truth.
No, but it's the truth.
It's a defense in the truth. I've never seen him smile like
No,
this.
but I used to witness these things a lot in the change room.
Yeah.
I used to witness the talks. And at that time I was a mere assistant coach.
Yeah.
So when you're an assistant coach, the heat is not too much on you, but you're observant, and you are learning and you are watching. So that is why I encourage even these players from in our change room to take leadership.
Yeah.
The best teams, I don't think the best teams, in fact, even, and with a lot of respect to Coach Pitso and to myself and Coach Mangoba, I really think that the most successful period of Sundowns was when the players, we had a lot of senior players driving the team. We were there with the tactics. Yeah, we were there with the tactics to support, but really, I think, and even if you look at Manchester United, you look at their era, you look at Manchester City, their most dominant era, you look at Real Madrid, their most dominant era, you could identify the leaders. Liverpool, their most dominant era, Henderson, Milner, Van Dijk. They had more leaders than they had followers, and this is very important. And I think that's what we have in our change room at the moment. We've got a lot of leaders.
Yeah.
And we've got people that say, and people think Tambazwane is too quiet. You've got different types of leaders, and Shishi leads by aura, by personality, and by performance. Hlompho had to lead by performance, but also by presence. With you guys, let's go.
Yeah.
You know, he was now in our change room. It's a little bit different because we've got the vocalness of Dennis. We've got the vocalness of now Coach Kennedy, who's a coach now, but he's passed on the baton to Ronwen. And then we still have in behind the scenes, you've got a Bongani Zungu, you've got a Musa Libusa, you've got a Brian Onyango, you've got, so you've got a very nice balance. You've got people who demonstrate through performance like Peter, Marcelo, Riva. They lead by performance. Toby. They put their bodies on the line. But then when you need a stronger voice, Dennis is
going to come. Yeah.
When you need a stronger voice, Ronwen is going to come in. And that makes your job as a technical team, as coaches, a lot easier. And there's a difference. I'm just trying to say there's different types of leaders. And Hlompho was a different type, but he was the type that was meant for that group.
Yeah.
Because that group also had some very strong personalities.
Yeah.
Lafo was a strong personality. Langerman was a strong personality. Teko was a strong personality. That group needed a leader that was very strong.
Yeah.
And to say that, to add on that, coach, remember when you have a team of that characters, by any chance you must make sure that they are on top of the game all the time.
No, 100%.
And I had a way of provoking them to always know that we can't drop the ball.
No.
It was easier for them to drop the ball. It was easier because they were very, very good.
Yeah.
So they believe that they're very, very good. And you cannot allow one person, one character out of that characters to drop the ball.
Yeah.
And you must know the ones that they are
close to. 5 to.
Yeah.
It's
Before
they even drop it, you are on top of them.
Like you say, we've got a crazy character in Langerman, in Anthony Lafo. Those you need to manage them every time of your time. Even I don't have to look at Dennis because I know he's 100%. I just don't have even to look at Thabo Nteto or Reina Renze. They're solid. I know those.
Yeah.
But I just know that when I look at Lafo, I have to go to him and provoke him to be in the same level
100%.
to bring out the best in him, so that he can be. I get it. 100%.
And it would not be. There's one thing I learned even in that during that time, that leadership is not a popularity contest. It's not a popularity. When you are in a position of leadership,
you make hard decisions.
You have to. Sometimes you make decisions that not everybody is going to like
and be happy about.
Yeah, for sure. But they must respect.
Yeah.
They must respect the decision, and they must go with the decision of the leader, because you're not put in the position of leadership to be weak and to be timid and to try to please people. Yeah. You are put in the position of leadership because you carry a responsibility, and that responsibility is extremely heavy, because you're a steward of a multi-billion rand company.
Yeah.
Mamelodi Sundowns has assets. I mean, each player. What's and then you've got the technical team, and then you've got millions and millions of supporters whose lives, whose happiness index is determined by the results.
Yeah, 100%.
And sometimes even to the space where even even when you speak, and this is a very deep topic, but it's the reality and it's the truth, is that even the safety of some of the kids and the women
Yes.
relies on the result of Mamelodi Sundowns.
100%.
If Sundowns wins, there's no gender-based violence in the house.
It's a
But
happy
if
home.
It's a happy home. But when Sundowns loses, the father has to find other means of trying to find that happiness, and sometimes it's substance abuse, and then the father comes home.
The knock-on effect of it is just so much.
It's so much, and so we live in a society where true leadership is very, very difficult. Because the generation is a completely different.
Yep.
And you've got to manage them a little bit
100%,
different.
yeah.
But also the expectations and the pressure is immense.
Yeah, crazy.
It's immense because there's a lot more exposure to many other things, social media included.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coach, let's go back to the weekend. Very important weekend for us. Before we said anything or anybody said anything, in a press conference, you said we will win it in Pretoria.
Yeah. Well, the stars, the stars, it was written in the stars.
Yes.
And it was clear for us to see that it was written in the stars. What we couldn't do was we couldn't really identify where the C was located.
Yeah.
Where the H was located, where the A was located, and where the M was located. Because some of the alphabets that defined the champion, some were behind a cosmic rock that no one can identify. Some were hidden behind the moon. Some were hidden, and ours was to work very, very hard to align the stars.
Yes.
It was already written that the last 3 seasons, when we got knocked out of Champions League, we lost to Al Ahly, the first season in the quarterfinals. We then lost to Petro in the quarterfinals. We then lost to Wydad. And the second leg was at home. And so when you looked at the story and you could relate and narrate it, in fact, to the players, you could say to them, okay, the last 3 seasons, this is a new competition altogether. But because of its connection with very close with CAF and Champions League, etc., you could make some form of relations. And then try to find the dots and connect it, and that's what this group was able to do, was able to identify where the H was, and the H was somewhere in Casablanca, and it probably meant that only that away goal, that penalty was massive,
Huge.
because that's the penalty, even though we lost the game. And sometimes I say to people, in football, because in football you're going to win, you're going to lose, and you're going to draw. It's like life.
Yes.
You can't always win.
Yeah.
You've just got to try to make sure 2 things. 1, you don't lose the games that matter.
Yes.
And 2, you win more than you lose.
Yeah.
That's really what you have to try to do, because you're going to lose.
Yeah, sure.
So you don't lose the games that matter. And then when you have a 2-legged affair and you lose away from home, but you've scored an away goal.
Yeah.
You've lost the game, but it's not necessarily the game that matters. The game that matters is the one at Loftus. And now you are able to take a lot of things to say, hey, number 1, you're not invincible. Last season you got knocked out of the Champions League unbeaten. But you're out, you didn't win the trophy.
Yeah.
And the pain was worse because the pain was inflicted by who? By Wydad.
Yeah.
Where? At Loftus. So now you are able to say, oh, this could be the same movie because it's got the same cast.
Yeah.
It's got a similar storyline.
And characters are the same. Or
100%. But now you are trying to make sure that the ending is different.
Yeah.
It doesn't end with the same pain. And we used that pain to drive us to a different level of performance. And really a lot of credit has to go not only to to the players and the technical team, but I really thought the supporters were
amazing.
Especially in the games against Wydad and Al Ahly.
Yeah.
That Al Ahly result of 1-0 was massive,
Huge.
But the performance from the supporters was incredible, and I think the Sundowns supporters, not only just the players are gaining the experience, but I think the Sundowns supporters are learning how to play the Champions League game. You know what I mean? To make it as hostile as the other supporters.
100%, because if you go into Africa, into North Africa especially, it's not the friendliest place to be.
You feel it.
It's definitely
It's like you were listening to the conversation I was having with the guys in the studio the other day, and I said, when I look at this team, it's different to the Sundowns that I saw 2-3 seasons ago.
100%.
In terms of maturity.
No, 100%.
And they know now that you get to apply yourself differently in that
100%.
space. And I love the fact that you learn through experiences.
Oh, for sure.
So those experiences you were never given.
No.
It's those moments there in Cairo where you won 2-0 and you came here, you won 5, and then and all of a sudden we think we're winning this tournament.
No.
So, and I said the easiest matches in the Champions League are not easy.
No.
When everybody thought you're going to win football matches.
No.
Look at in Luanda. That's a turning point of this tournament.
Yeah.
No,
When
100%.
Sundowns won this tournament, I said it in Luanda, I said, because they didn't concede and lose in Luanda,
Yes, you did.
this is their tournament.
Yeah.
Because if you check the first 45 minutes, that team was pressing Sundowns back
No,
and
100%.
back and back. And it was because we were hadn't settled. And it's just the nature of the tournament itself to say, in this level, you cannot afford.
No.
You cannot afford to say
No.
we're waiting for the next moment.
No.
There is no next moment.
No.
And I was happy
And no
to
easy games.
There's no easy games, Coach.
There cannot
there's
be.
There's no easy game because the talent that is in our continent is crazy and massive.
Yeah.
So when I saw that happening, I knew that the tournament is going to Torko.
Now, Coach, when you look to your left, the trophy sits here.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you?
Yeah, you see, the problem is if I personalize it too much, it's going to bring back the emotions that you witnessed after when the final whistle blew. Because I just said to you that now we were speaking about leadership. It's not a popularity contest, and there's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes.
Yes.
And I don't want to personalize it too much, because then it evokes emotions that are very difficult to deal with. But at the same time, I have to say that part of those emotions also are an appreciation for I think eventually this group of players gets a trophy that they deserve.
Yeah.
And I don't make light of the 3 trophies we won 3 seasons ago when we won the treble, and I don't make light of the league title we won the previous season. But I think this group for the I remember vividly. We had a team meeting, and it was Hlompho's group, and surprise, Muriro was still playing actually. And the type of football we were playing was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I remember Coach Pitso says to me, "You want to say something?" I said, "Boys, I think you must understand something, that this type of football deserves trophies." And I think for the purity of the game, for the people that feel the game. For what I think it should be, a game that should be played to express yourself, to enjoy, to bring those emotions to the supporters.
Yeah.
I think for 90 minutes, football must be played where, of course, we're playing to win, but we have to play with a a sense of we are Sundowns.
Yeah.
And then there must be an identity with who we are. And the culture of the club is not a culture that I started.
Yeah.
It's not a culture that started last year or now. It's a culture that I found here.
Yeah.
It's a culture that says the team wears blue, white, and yellow. And this team is synonymous with the Brazilians.
Yeah.
What does that say
It's dance.
already?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says express yourself.
Yeah.
But what
Samba.
that samba
Yeah.
is express yourself. Shoeshine and piano. What is it?
Express
What
yourself.
is piano? Piano is music.
Yes.
What is samba? Is music.
Yeah.
So what is music? Artistry. And so what should football that is related to Sundowns be? Artistry.
Yeah.
You know, and this is why we get the best players who are able to play the best football, and but that alone is not enough. Because then football, for its sense of what we know it to be, dies a very slow and painful death, because then the narrative that beautiful football doesn't win you trophies, you know,
Then
it
gains
gains
steam.
momentum,
Yeah, it gains
you know,
momentum.
because the people that win the trophies
Yeah.
are people that are not necessarily interested in
playing.
playing. They are prepared to say, even if we win ugly, let's do it
As long as we
as
win.
long as we win. But I think for me as a coach, for as long, and I'm glad that I come from not only a family but a township and even an academy here.
Yeah.
When I was in the academy at Sundowns, we had the Johan Cruyff Institute
Yes.
and the coaches from Barcelona. And I think that type of background has helped me have an understanding of course the result matters. But I think how you get the result matters too.
Yeah, sure.
Are we going to be able to play at that level every single match? No, it's not possible.
Yeah.
Are we going to be able to play the best game and the best football, the perfect passes, the perfect
No.
is not. Are we going to win every game 5-0, 4-0? No, because anyway, by nature, you know, it surprises me sometimes when I listen to football, people involved in football,
Yeah.
and they can't take a 1-0. And I say to myself, by nature, if you compare football to all the other sports, by nature, football is a very low scoring game.
It should be.
It is.
Because you're
Yeah.
playing against people who are stopping you from doing what you do.
Yeah.
And you are all going, it's clear. Where are you going?
Going to the ball.
Yeah.
You're going to the goal.
Yeah.
And it's so easy for me to defend the goal with
Yeah.
11 people
Yeah.
because of it's 6-yard area, a 12-yard penalty area, and all I have to do is get 11 players behind the ball. It's very, very difficult with a goalkeeper. That's got special responsibilities or special laws that allow him to use his hands and his feet.
And his feet.
So by nature, a 1-0 scorer in football is more common than a 5-0 scorer. Someone was saying, I saw a crazy statistic in 800 and something games. It was for the first time Pep Guardiola's team was involved in a 4-4 score draw.
Yeah.
For the first time in 800 and something games that he's managed as a coach. So you tell me.
Sure. It speaks volumes then as well about just the game, because if you think about it in the way you've just put it to us, it then triggers you, because for example in rugby you have a whole 50 meters where you can score,
Yeah.
which makes it easier. In cricket you can hit the ball in any direction,
Yeah.
as long as it heads for the boundary.
100%.
But for soccer the goalpost is
It
where
must hit the
heads.
back of the net.
Yeah.
We had this conversation 2 weeks ago, me and him. It's like the most difficult thing to do in a football match is to score a goal.
100%. That's what Johan Cruyff says in his book.
Yeah.
Johan Cruyff says in his book, the most difficult thing in football
Yeah.
is scoring a goal.
Because, I mean, like you said, so many people, they can just put and plant so many people
But
there.
it's the same thing which I say all the time is good. You know, we sit at home and watch guys miss, and we're like, he missed the sitter.
100%.
Why am I trip?
Yeah. It's easy to
So-
talk.
What did I say the other day?
It's
I
very
said,
easy.
if you have never been this side
It's so difficult.
and been closer to this line, grass,
Yeah.
it's easier to say anything.
Like I can even see myself on the couches on that studio.
No, 100%.
I say stuff. I was like, okay, why couldn't he take 2 touch?
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're there, the camera shows you different things.
100%.
You can comment and say, yeah, he could have took 2 touch there and kill it. There's no time in football, unfortunately. It's a moment that you should decide. It's I don't know. You have to decide instinctively.
Yeah.
If
No,
you can't
100%.
get that, unfortunately, you will never understand it. So it's difficult. Like I said, it's
Amazing.
easier
No, I
to
get it
say
100% than to do
gosh,
it.
Yeah.
It's the hardest thing, and I think if I can make reference even to the weekend, to the final,
Yeah.
the referee's optional time, and there's Tebogo, there's Zungu, there's Sailor, Mudao,
Yeah.
and I'm sitting there. I'm sitting on the bench there, and I see this free kick. I'm saying to myself, just give it to Bongs to go and put it in the corner flag, Albambe, and then win another foul or another throw in.
Yeah.
You know?
They did it.
And no, but they refuse to restart the game. But I'm sitting on the bench, I'm saying, hey, play.
Yeah.
But now when I go home and I watch it, I say, but they're actually right, because the players are not 10 yards away from the ball.
Yeah, no, you can't start.
They can't
Yes.
start
Yeah,
by
no.
law.
Yeah.
By law,
Yeah.
Sailor, Debza, and Bongs were right.
Yeah.
Because up until the referee went to mark 10 yards
That's where.
with the white paint,
Yeah.
10 yards with the white
Yeah.
spray paint,
Yeah.
did they then start? And I said to myself, it's so easy. Because I do this all the time. We do corrections, we sit and all. But I've put myself in a position, and I've said that even to the players. I refuse to comment about the performance immediately after the performance.
Yes.
Because it's so easy for me to be
Harsh and
caught
be
up in the
caught
emotions.
up in the emotion.
Do
yeah.
you know? I tell them now, I say, I first give myself an opportunity to watch the game over again. And I watch our performance once, and I watch it only as a spectator. I say, if I'm not as a Sundowns coach, the first time, every day, the first thing I do when I get home is I watch the Sundowns match. And I watch it first as a spectator. I say, I'm a Sundowns supporter. How would I feel about this performance? That's the first question I ask myself. And then I watch it again as a coach. Now that eye is a little bit more critical than the eye of that one's got
Spectator.
more detail.
Yes.
Is you are 2 steps to the left than you should have been. You passed the ball 2 seconds earlier where you could have waited for the press a little bit, and then we could get to the next line and attack. There's so many things that we work on, and that have details. But as a spectator, I'm not aware of what's happening at Chlorokop on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm not aware what is the difference between Al Bakhri and Sambo.
Yeah.
So when first half they play Al Bakhri, and then they make a change and they bring Sambu, the dynamics are completely different from Musa Libusa and Mtobi Mvala. Completely different. And they've got to defend in a completely different way. And then when they introduce Bora on the side, and you it's a completely different picture for Modao, because instead of going aggressive, unbelievable with the left foot, Bora brings it to the right foot and plays an in-swinger. So my feelings are not the supporters' feelings. My feelings are the coach's feelings, and then I've got detail.
Yeah.
And then only after, the next day, we've got clips and we've got a debrief, and then we are ready to talk about the performance.
But coach, does it go down to that much detail to say,
Yes.
for example, Bura comes in and he does 15 touches more on the left than he does on the right?
Yes.
And it goes down to that much detail so that when those changes happen,
100%.
the players already have the information
100%.
to make the players better, but also the game model better.
100%. And the modern game now, and I would presume even society, and maybe that's why there's this big thing about artificial intelligence, AI, and the influence that the robots are going to have in society, because robots increase the level of efficiency and decrease the level of mistakes. And anytime you put the human element, you increase the level of
Mistakes,
error.
yes.
Because as human beings, we are not perfect. We chase perfection, for sure.
Yeah.
But we can never attain it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't stop you from chasing it.
Yeah.
Because
We
it's
still,
nice.
we still go.
It's like
yeah,
a goal.
because-
You got to keep
Yes,
going.
you've gotta keep
and when you
going.
reach that one, there's another goal you can set.
100%. But it doesn't always mean you're going to score every time you attack.
100%.
Yeah.
But you keep attacking.
Yes.
With the hope that you will score.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, whenever you have 11 versus 11, and that's what makes this game so unpredictable, but yet so loved.
Yeah.
Is because I read a beautiful quote the other day. It was unbelievable, and I think it was from Marcelo Bielsa, and he said the beauty of football is that unlike many other sports, the chances of a weaker team beating a stronger team are a lot higher in football than in many other sports. In many other sports, the most talented teams are 9 times out of 10 guaranteed to win.
Yeah.
But in football,
Doesn't
you
work like
could. That's why there are people who support Levante.
Yeah.
And will go to the stadium when Levante plays
With
Barca
Barcelona.
with hope.
Yes.
Because it is possible
Yeah.
that Levante can beat Barca.
Yeah.
It's possible. It's been proven over and over again.
And
So
players, we don't like this match.
no.
Yeah.
No,
It's a
those-
difficult match you can ever
Yeah.
find. That's
Oh,
why
those are
when
tough.
I see a team wins the league, I applaud that team. Because to win against a team like Levante's Barca, to win home and away, it's not easy.
It's tough.
Because the game model of Levante will be different. It's to make a life of a big team difficult all the time, from the first whistle
100%.
all the way to the last. So they will make it difficult. They won't even play football. Some are to tackle and hard and make fouls, and that's how ugly they will make.
Yeah.
So it's about a team, like a big team, that will take pride and say,
No,
we're going to play under these circumstances. And what are the chances?
Sure.
So if you open, because you have to open, you have to win them.
Yeah.
You are a big team.
Yeah.
And if
You have
they
to go for it.
Yeah, if they score, you have to chase this game because you can't lose. I mean,
But why is betting such a big thing in football?
actually, you sum it up.
Why is betting such a big thing in football? Because if I put my money on Levante beating Barca, I make
Make a lot of money.
and Levante beats Barca, I
Make
make money.
Yeah.
And now imagine now I'm a Barca fan
Ish.
and I put my money on Barca beating Levante.
Mm.
Because I'm a Barca fan, and let's be honest, Man City versus Luton City.
Yeah.
Who should win?
Man
City.
Man City 9
Yeah.
times out of 10.
Yeah.
But there's a possibility here.
Yeah.
It's football, I know, therefore.
Excuse me. No chance.
Yeah.
Now, Coach, we still have Champions League coming up.
Yes, that's the next big one. It's Nojabo.
Yeah.
Nojabo is next week Friday.
Yeah.
We've already started collecting intel and getting their games.
Yeah.
They're a very interesting team with a lot of physicality, but you expect that in the Champions
Yes.
League. Mauritania is not a country that is a non-football nation. The last 2 national team matches between South Africa and Mauritania, we have not won.
Yeah. I played in that match.
Yes,
I know how difficult
it is difficult.
Yeah.
They've got a majority of those players that play already for the
Overseas.
national team.
Yeah.
They've got a Ghanaian international striker that is unbelievable. And you can see the organization with how the team is structured, that from a tactical perspective, if we are still riding the wave of winning the AFL,
Yeah.
we're going to have problems.
Big ones.
And so already we live on that 24-hour rule, and maybe it could be even longer, because sometimes even when we lose, the feeling of losing, sometimes to flush it out of our system takes longer than 24 hours. So the principle in our change room is that we deal with both imposters the same, with 24 hours. Winning is an imposter. You are not entitled to it. But so is losing.
Yeah.
Losing is an imposter too, because you're not entitled to it. It's not on your birth certificate,
Yeah.
and it's not going to be on your tombstone.
Yeah.
So they are both imposters.
Yeah.
Now we deal with them in 24 hours. We gave 48 hours rest after the final, and we said, okay, You've got to, for physiological reasons and for psychological reasons, dopamine, serotonin. It's important to celebrate victories because again, like I say, you're not entitled to them.
Yeah.
If you think you're entitled to success and to winning,
It's a big mistake.
you're making the biggest mistake of your life. You only have to look at the Chelsea not so long ago. We're winning Champions Leagues and league titles in the English Premier League.
Yeah.
They are struggling to put together
A team
3
that-
wins in a row.
Yeah.
Manchester United, you tell me, if you were to say to Manchester United board and players and fans, how much would you pay to win 1 league title? They would say they would give everything because there was a time, but there was
There's a time where they won everything.
they won everything.
Yeah.
And now they can't even win 1 trophy.
Yeah.
They're struggling. Now you and with how many coaches, with how much having spent how much.
on the market.
So this is what Pep Guardiola was saying to the Manchester City players, to the fans, to say, do not take winning for granted. Do not get spoiled by it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it
While they
because
still have it.
errors
Differ.
come and
And
go.
go.
We've seen-
seasons come and go.
I've seen at the stadium how distraught we as fans become when we lose.
Yes.
We lose it. I mean, I've seen people crying tears, real tears, and I even remember back in the day, Coach Pitso said these ones are spoiled. They're too used to winning because, we were throwing our toys out the cot. We didn't know what to do with ourselves because we're so used to winning. We almost felt like it was a right.
Yeah, you can't there's nothing wrong with an emotional connotation.
Yes.
You've
Because you've got to get it out.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course. You've
Yeah.
got to feel something
Yeah.
with the result. Otherwise, it means you have to question your level of investment.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
If I don't feel the pain of a defeat, there's a problem.
And if you don't feel the excitement,
The
after
excitement
winning,
of a win, there's a problem. But it cannot be an obsession. Because once it becomes an obsession, I use this a lot and maybe it's because I follow the philosophy of Stoicism a lot with Marcus Aurelius. It was a philosophy that you must try and read this book. It's called Meditations.
Okay.
It's the book that the late Tata Nelson Mandela read while he was in prison, and he came out and he said, no fighting. We will resolve this, because it was part of the strategy of Stoicism. Stoicism is all about everything in moderation, and deal with everything in moderation. The wins, the loses, and nothing can become an addiction or an obsession. Because the moment you come to that level,
You know, Coach, it's a difficult one because for me personally, a win or a lose will decide whether I go out that night or not.
For sure.
You know, so everybody I was with on Sunday knew that if we had lost, we weren't going anywhere.
No, for
everyone is getting dropped off at home. Now, I think it's a thin line then between obsession
for sure.
and you living in that gap.
No, for sure.
It means that much.
That's the level of investment.
Yeah.
But that's why Michael Jordan used to say in his and in fact it's unbelievable, because it really you find it a lot in basketball, this mentality. Some of the best coaches like Popovich, for an example, they say obsession is not an option. It's a requirement. It's a fundamental for being involved in the game, whether as a fan or as a player, as a coach, but the reality is, you've also got to still accept, like you play when you play Ludo, or
you
Crazy
throw the
18,
dice.
or you throw the dice.
Yeah.
That it's still a game.
Yeah.
And that's where sometimes
We don't have to draw that.
yeah, we have at the end, to be honest. That's what football is. When I coach, I analyze the opposition.
Yeah.
Yes.
To the point where I say, how much control
Do I have?
can I make sure that our team has
Yes.
on the result, on influencing the result, and leave as little as possible to fate. And that's very difficult.
Extremely.
And that's why you have to watch 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. But that's why you feel the defeat, because that's the level of investment.
Yeah.
You feel it, and you feel the successes because that's the level of investment. And you feel when someone says to you, hey, but and you say to yourself, my goodness, do you understand the level of investment that we are in here?
Yeah.
That you spend hours and hours on the training field preparing. You spend hours and hours.
You only see the 90 minutes on TV.
Exactly. And you don't know sometimes what Naves is going through.
Yeah.
And sometimes the reasons I'm not playing Naves,
It's because he's not well.
he is not okay.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you guys that
No,
in public.
no.
And there's Lyle Foster, a very good example. There's who would have said, with the goals he's been playing, with the announcement of a new contract,
that he's
That is
in
not
the
okay.
English Premier League, who would have said that Lyle is suffering from mental health issues?
Nobody, because we all sit and think everything is going so well for him. Kudos to him. He's winning. He's playing in the best league in the world. You know, he's just got a new contract. But nobody would have thought to say, and like, maybe this guy just
And Agaga, he hasn't opened up
No.
to the coach.
No.
Orubulaki. And then now you're seeing bad performances. And you're very quick to judge.
Yeah.
The supporters, because of we just spoke about it, they are invested too. Do you know what I mean? But this is why these meetings that we have with the players one-on-one, and we speak, and sometimes we invest so much time that people don't understand why you put this player instead of this player, and people don't understand why this player is playing this position and not that position, or why this player is playing this position when this other player is playing.
I've seen them question. I mean, even this weekend when the starting lineup came out, they all questioned bringing back Lucas and Shalulile so quick from injury, but they didn't see what you saw in practice. They didn't have the time to sit with the game model and say, this is what we want to do.
I can show you the first training session we trained.
Yeah.
You will not believe.
Yeah.
The day we had Lucas, we had Sipo, we had Peter coming back from injury. The first goal we scored, and I can show it to you because I analyzed training. The first goal we scored was a pass from Lucas to Peter. And then from Peter, with Lucas getting into the box, and Peter's crossing the ball for Lucas. First goal we scored when we did tactics. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
But the supporters didn't see that.
No.
Unfortunately. So the supporters are also the first to say, but hang on, in the games where you haven't had Peter and Lucas, you've struggled to create chances. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No winning.
And football has gone to this space where relationships matter.
Yeah.
Social.
Relationism. There's a philosophy now that's coming, and it's from Fernando Diniz, and it's called relationism, and it's a little bit of a, and I don't think so, but the technocrats and the people that speak about football a lot, they say it's in direct contrast with positional play, which is Roque de Posicione, which was made famous by Pep Guardiola, that it's more about positions. Now Fernando Diniz says it's more about relationships.
So as in more time spent together makes us better when we play.
Yes.
Okay.
And sometimes
I can add to that what Coach is saying. I played a midfielder with a lot of midfielders, with Diko, with Sugar, with Bongs, with Lucky Mohomi,
with Ezra,
with Ezi. So I have to behave differently with the 5 or 6 guys that I tell you about.
Yes.
When you're with Bongs, I don't have to worry because he's as talented as Diko. They don't lose the ball easily.
100%.
But when with Bongs, make sure that you give him option quicker. The same as Sugar. Diko, you can wait for him to get it and look forward and then pass it, because he can even pass it with,
No, he can surprise you.
He's like Sipo. They've got their talents, special
They
talent.
solve the things.
So with Sugar, I couldn't give him space to control, to look,
because he's agitated. I don't know.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
When the ball goes to Sugar, already I must avail myself. I'm
100%.
Look, and Sugar, I'm free. He controls. The first thing, he will never complicate. He will give it to you. Not because he's not a good football player. It's because of the relation that we had to create while playing together.
Yeah, 100%.
And you play with Temba, who will come into half space. Yeah. Temba always will come there. Without you telling him, coach will attach to
100%.
that. And that's a relation. Sometimes we pass without even looking. Because we know Temba should be there. He should be there. So sometimes even when I'm under pressure, maybe I didn't put my body to receive properly because I have to, check around. Sometimes I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But because we are South Africans, we've got those flicks, man.
Yeah.
I'll flick, but Temba is there.
Yeah.
It goes back to what coach is talking about, the relation, or you saying is what?
Relation is
relation.
But it's a lot more technical than that.
Yeah.
But you are 100% correct.
Yeah.
And it goes like, for an example, when you sign a Lucas Ribeiro.
Yeah.
You can never tell me you can't stop a flick.
No.
It's what Brazilians have.
Yeah.
Flair.
Yeah.
It's not skill, it's flair. Temba Zwane has flair.
Yeah.
So I say to him sometimes, and he knows. I say, hey, let's us stand.
He loves it. There's no 90 minutes without
I
him.
can't stop it. But I can teach the moments.
Yeah.
I can say to his teammates, understand the moments that he has these things. It's like Deco, like Hlompho was just saying.
Yeah.
Like it's players where Marcelo
Allende.
There are things that come
naturally.
Yeah, exactly. They come with it's based on the background.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mendieta, you can't stop Mendieta from being aggressive. It's
South
how
American. Feel like that. Yeah.
It comes from that type of background. But now it's to infuse that in a collective.
Yeah.
Because in football you can't play alone.
Yeah, sure.
And your qualities must bring out the best quality. So Hlompho's best qualities must bring out my best qualities to bring out your best qualities.
The knock-on effect.
And then we have a stronger team.
Yeah.
So that we can beat the opponent.
Yeah.
But if I'm at my best alone and I'm flicking and backheeling alone,
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work because then it's a one-man show.
Yeah.
So at times that's why there's a lot of things that goes into coaching and football and details that sometimes is not so evident to the eye. And maybe the coaches that have more experience than I do, who are speaking now more and more than ever, like Arsene Wenger and the influence of social media and on the performances of players, they are right. Because really, there's a lot of people who in absence of the details, but still find the voice to criticize instead of supporting. It's very difficult. It is, and life happens even to footballers. You must never think that a football player is immune to life
To the things that are going on in life.
The things that are going on in life. They have even probably more problems than we have, the normal citizen. But sometimes we expect them to just perform on the pitch and forget about their problems. And that's very, very difficult to do. And that's why I always say that before even working with the footballer, I work with the human being. It's the person that I have to understand. When Neo Maema comes into the video in the morning and I shake his hand and I greet him, I feel the energy. And I can already say to myself, he's in a good space or he's not in a good space. I greet Sipho Mbule, and already I can tell the energy. And then I say to myself, how do we prepare for the next match? Because I'm already feeling and one of the unfortunate parts, maybe even for me, I don't know if other coaches have this, is that I'm an empath by nature.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm a highly sensitive person.
Yeah.
An empath. Yeah. I'm a highly sensitive person. Like I pick up I really pick up energy.
Yeah.
And so when I see Ronwen and I look in his eyes, I pick up Ronwen's energy. And I'm then able to say, come to my office. What's wrong? The player will start, no, I'm okay, everything's okay. I said, no. I know you very well.
Yeah.
I say, I know you just as well as you know me. He said, what do you mean? I say, when I walk into the room, what's the first thing that you can pick up? They say, no, we look in the forehead here. When you have the lines and the things here on your forehead, we know we should not.
Don't play close.
Don't play.
Yeah.
Just do the right things.
Yeah.
And I say, yes, because now you've known me. You've worked with me for how many years?
Yeah.
So I know you just as well as you know me. So what's wrong? And then you get sometimes I have some of the most difficult conversations with the players.
Yeah, so and that goes on to speak then that coaching just doesn't stop when we get off the field.
It's not a talk show.
It's not a talk show. It's a full time, because as well the amount of time spent with the players is probably more time spent than they do sorry.
Oh, shame. You're sick?
At home.
Oh, shame.
It's more time than what they spend
families.
with their families.
And that's why sometimes I and even though I do it, but I stop myself sometimes from calling at night. I do it a lot, but I know that the families are like, this coach, Mara, 3 weeks been in Libyan peace in travel, and you went to
from Egypt to
Egypt.
Tunis, yeah.
No, but even before
From
we
Morocco.
were in Angola.
Oh yeah,
From Bombela, Angola, with Cairo. No, they had no time with their families. And then now, this coach is calling. Hey, did you just see the Everton goal? Did you just see the Chelsea goal? No. What do I expect the missus of these players to say? No, this is my time now. I must have time, but also we've got to be obsessed by this thing, because if the players are not seeing the extra detail in the corner kick that Chelsea had against Man City, what are you gonna say? Man City's short corner against Chelsea, the detail for that, you're like, I hope Musa Libusa is seeing this. And you pick up the phone, you say, hey, Musa, did you just see that? And when Musa is finished, you go to Toby, did you just see that? You know? And you spend, and of course, the wives are going to say, this coach is crazy.
He's lost his mind.
This coach has lost his mind. And then you
But that helps, coach, I must say, because I remember even my time where we were still playing here. The more you know more about what's happening in the world of football, the better for the players to grow.
100%.
And what you said about the free kick here, the corner kick here, Chelsea and Man City. If players see that, it's difficult. It is easier for you to coach this
100%.
because they saw the pictures.
100%.
And the goal that you guys scored in Morocco. How many corners did you have in that match? It's a corner this side and corner this side and corner this side and corner this side. And that tells you the preparation before that, because that was from a training ground. Because I'm watching there, I was like, I think this delivery is going to go there.
No.
Because I'm already in that space.
100%.
So when that happened and when you got that, I could easily tell, because these boys are very knowledgeable in the information that they have, and to go to the referee to say that's a penalty. You got to know your story before you go.
100%.
You got to know your story, that you created a corner. This is how you're going to apply yourself. And some of the things, like Coach says, details come from the individuals in the field of play
and the quality, of course. We cannot take away that.
Of course.
That football is a game that belongs to the players.
So that's what I'm saying every time, that there's no football match without emotions.
No.
And it goes back to what you were saying, that you can't find the balance.
No, you can't, unfortunately.
The emotions and obsession and whatever you call it.
This is what makes us so involved in the game.
We love it.
We love it so much that it breaks our hearts.
And we're still gonna go.
But we go back again
tomorrow morning.
There are days where I ask myself, honestly, is this thing worth it? Is it really worth it? I remember having a conversation with Owen Hargreaves. And after the World Cup, and you keep in touch, you make friends with these people, and exactly. And I remember he said to me, I don't coach, I said, why you don't coach? Because you've been coached by some of the best coaches.
Mm.
You know, he worked with Pep.
Yeah.
He worked with Sir Alex.
Yeah.
He says because I just can't take the impact it has on your health, on your relationships, on your life, yeah, just generally. And that's very, very true. You know, the people around you suffer more than you suffer.
Yeah.
And then when you look at these people suffering, and then you see yourself suffering, losing weight,
Because you look back and you say,
and you ask yourself, and then there's a feeling sometimes, really honestly, there's a feeling sometimes of a lack of appreciation, because as much as we can say whatever we want to say, but every human being wants to feel loved and appreciated. Every single human being. It doesn't matter who you are. You are the president of South Africa, Mr. Cyril Ramaphosa. You want to feel loved and appreciated for your efforts. And there are times when you don't feel loved and appreciated. And then you ask yourself the question, is this thing really, really worth it?
Yeah. Yeah.
sure. Coach Rulani, we could sit here and go on for hours. But I think from the Yellow Nation, Masandawana, thank you very much to you, the boys, and everybody that's involved. The guys that don't get mentioned.
Yeah, for sure.
The guys that set up the cones, the guys that, you know, do all the stuff that we don't see.
100%.
The guys that drive us to the games.
Yeah.
And
To
all,
me.
everybody,
Abo-Sis Aurelia in the kitchen.
Abo-Sis Aurelia in the kitchen. Just thank you
Abo
very
Leonard on the
much.
pitch.
We are grateful. We are very, very, very happy. We are gloating again. It was a tough one. I mean, we got knocked out of the Carling Cup and lost the final in Durban. But having a trophy here
Beautiful.
makes it
Beautiful.
all that much better.
Beautiful.
And we really do appreciate it. So thank you very much to you, the technical
Thank you,
team,
sir.
and everybody else.
Yes.
We are happy and we look forward to having you here again with a different
Trophy.
In fact, I think what we're going to do is we're going to
We'll
get a
line them
big
up.
up podium
Yeah.
and have them
we
all
line them
here.
up.
Yeah,
It's important.
It's,
But also have the players because
100%.
Yeah.
yeah, no, and I'm so happy, Naves, you started on saying, let's appreciate the people that don't get the
Yeah.
recognition.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people that make a
Lot of
huge
people.
contribution to the performance of the players, and they don't get the limelight
Yeah.
that we are fortunate to get.
Mm.
And so they've got to be applauded and appreciated. The fans have got to be
Amazing,
applauded. They've
man.
been
The Yellow
amazing.
Nation.
The Yellow Nation has
Yeah.
been incredible for this AFL campaign.
Yeah.
But for sure, the game of football belongs to the players, and big congratulations to this group of players.
Yeah.
You know, you asked me about the emotions, and really my emotions after the game was, I think finally this group has gotten one of the trophies that reflects the amount of hard work and the talent and the sacrifices and everything that they go through, and they really deserve it. And what an amazing group of players to coach, and an amazing group of human beings to be around, and they are the ones honestly that make it all worth it. They make the suffering all worth it.
You know, after the final, sorry, coach, to cut you. As I said, you know, the Sundowns players deserve this trophy.
Yeah.
They deserve to reward themselves with
100%.
this trophy after so many years of putting effort. You know, we don't see the training.
No.
We
No.
don't see the training.
No.
It's
The
easy to.
corrections, the
We don't see
hours,
the
the
corrections.
video
We don't
sessions.
see the time you guys sleep.
No.
Sometimes you go to time or whatever zone they call it.
Yeah.
4 hours and
No,
that,
you're right.
that plays a huge role, and in terms of, you know, winning the trophy. And that goes back to what you said. When you win a trophy, you must feel it.
I know.
You must,
Yeah.
you
Enjoy
must
it.
find that time to
Celebrate
celebrate it, because unfortunately or fortunately, Sundowns, you find we're in a space where there's no time to have that moment of celebration and all that, because the next
gotta
match
go,
can
the
be
next
tomorrow.
match is
You know what
on.
I mean?
100%.
So because of that, then it diluted the feeling of boys, you know, having this, because this, I believe they deserve it.
100%.
Yes, the other day I felt like a serious fan when I was sleeping, and everybody couldn't understand that, because I know what it means to win a trophy for if you play for this team.
A continental trophy.
It's not
It's
easy.
a continental trophy that is
Continental.
recognized worldwide.
Yeah, it's not easy.
And another thing I said people
Yeah.
don't recognize is what we did with the AFL is what the Europeans failed to put together.
Yeah.
We have managed to do it in Africa.
100%.
And that's why this is so important as well.
Very important.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
So congratulations, coach.
Congratulations to the Sundowns Nation.
Thank you very much.
To everybody, congratulations. And also congratulations to you also, because if it wasn't for the foundation that your team laid in winning and saying to us winning Champions League is possible,
Yeah.
we would not be able to do that.
I thought you were going to congratulate Hlompho on the wedding. Are you aware?
He has been waiting for
I've been waiting for this wedding for years and years and years. I'm going to be a speaker at this wedding because I'm going to be saying, finally, the rain has come. We've been seeing these rain clouds for so long, and we are told this rain is coming. We took the umbrellas out,
And then-
we built the ark like Noah, and we have been waiting.
But we were busy, coach. Yeah,
So I'm waiting.
And now you are busy.
We're still busy.
It's the Pitchside podcast. Thank you very much. See you guys
Thanks
on
for
the next
having me.
episode.